Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So today we're going to be doing this glitter cut crease. I hope you enjoy. First things first, I'm going to be using some Scotch tape, yes, regular Scotch tape, and putting that underneath of my eyes. Yeah, I'm missing a nail, I know. And I'm just going to do a little bit of concealer to prime my eyes. I highly recommend doing this method, especially if you're doing some crazy makeup look like me. And I blend that out with my beauty blender. To set that concealer, I use my M438 brush and the RCMA powder, the no color powder, and I push that into the skin all over the eyelid so that way all of our eyeshadows go on very smoothly. So the first two shadows I'm doing are these two. I'm going to mix them together to create my perfect crease shade, and I'm going to use my E22 by Morphe to do that. And if you don't have a crease, now is the best time to start creating one. So now I'm going to be starting the hot pink kind of colors. I'm going to use the Morphe Brushes Orchid and that same exact brush, which is my staple brush. I highly recommend you get this, and blend that into the crease. So I do probably 2 or 3 layers of this until I feel like it is as hot pink as I want it to be, which is why I like this color, because you can really build it up or you can keep it kind of neutral. Don't worry about cleaning up the crease. We will do that later. So I'm going to use the E36 brush by Morphe, and I'm going to take that Makeup Geek Curfew shade, which is super pretty and purple, and I'm going to put that on the entire crease area. So this is kind of just getting a baseline of where I want that crease line to be. And then I'm going to take that E22 and kind of push that and blend that outwards, because I do want this to show through the glitter. So this was my very first Morphe brush ever. It's the G24, and I'm going to use Makeup Geek's Simply Marlena to blend out over top of that, just to add a little bit more pink in that crease area. So this is the M506, which is one of my staples for creating a crease, and I use that same Curfew shade and blend that out amongst that crease. And now I'm going to clean it up. So I'm going to use a cream foundation by Graftobian. You can use any concealer you want. I just really like the consistency of this one. And this is just kind of like an eyeliner brush, nothing fancy. And again, it's by Morphe. So I'm just going to draw out where I want that cut crease to be. So you can kind of create your own line wherever you want this to go. It's a good idea to stick with your natural crease if you have one, but if you don't, feel free to create one, and it helps when you open your eyes a little bit to see where that crease line should be. So to create that glitter eyeliner, I'm going to be using Ben Nye glitter glue, and I mixed that with OCC's Mirror Ball glitter, which is one of my favorite glitters of all time, and I press my brush, this E06 brush by Sigma, into the glitter glue and then into the glitter, and just tap that very gently along this line. So this can get messy really, really quick. I mean, we're working with glitter. So as you can see, I kind of press and then gently swipe. If some of that glitter falls down onto the lid area, you can kind of see where it's fallen down a little bit onto that lid area where we don't really want it. That's okay. I will show you how to clean it up later, but for now we're just going to press it onto that crease line to make sure that we've covered up that line that we created. And I do have my arm sitting on the table, so that might help you to rest your elbow on the table. Make sure you have a nice steady hand. So I'm taking that brush after I wiped it off with a little bit of concealer and kind of flicking away any of those little glitter pieces that get down where I don't want them to be. So for the eyeliner, this is super important and such a major part of this look. I use the Maybelline gel liner in the blackest black shade, and I've cleaned off that same brush. I swear to God, I need 10 of these brushes because I love them. And you're going to follow underneath of that cut crease line. I know this is intense and dramatic. Don't be scared. So I'm just kind of getting an idea of where I want the eyeliner to be, because we are going to go over top of this with eyeshadow. So don't be scared. This doesn't have to be perfect. You just want to make sure that you get an idea of that wing, and that wing is going to cover that entire area. So I'm going to use Makeup Geek's Corrupt with that M506 brush once again, and I'm going to pat that into that outer corner so that way we have a nice clean black look. So then again, with Makeup Geek's Curfew, I swear this eyeshadow is amazing, I'm going to blend that into that black shade, and it's okay if you get it into the glitter. It's going to fall down, but it's going to be okay. You can clean it up. And then the Morphe Brushes 35C, this like vibrant purple color, just to add a little bit more vibrancy. So as you can see, I always tell people just keep blending, and that is what I do. So I'm going to blend this into that area. It's a little more vibrant than I want it to be, but as I'm blending it out, especially with this Makeup Geek Hopscotch, which I use this Sigma pencil brush in the inner corner to create that ombre effect, you see how I've toned it down just perfectly with that. That is what I recommend. So then I took this little brush that I've had forever with Morphe's Orchid, and I felt like I need a little more hot pink on there, so that's what I did. And this is when I'm going to clean up that eyeliner. So I'm going to darken the outer part and use the flat side of that brush to kind of spread that eyeliner and give it more of that ombre effect. And when we peel off the tape, ta-da! Look how nice and clean that line is. It's perfect. So I'm going to use a little bit of mascara. This is the cheapest mascara I think that they make, is the Maybelline Great Lash, with some of my Flutter lashes in Slayla, which are seriously my favorite lashes right now. I'm highly obsessed with them. So I just put a little bit of House of Lashes lash glue on there and pressed it in the center, and then pressed it in the inner corner and then on the outer corner. And that is it for eyelashes. So for my brows, I felt like I didn't do a very good job of filming this part, but I used the taupe powder by Anastasia Beverly Hills with the number 7 brush by them as well, and I just kind of swipe that powder up. I start at that baseline and then swipe it up to kind of darken the brow and give it a little bit more definition. And then I just swipe the tail very gently like that. I'm going to brush all of the brow hairs down and then do that exact same thing with the baseline of the top. So kind of like you're outlining the brows, but you don't want to go past where the natural hair grows until you get to the arch, and then it's kind of okay. To add a little bit of darkness on that arch and that tail, I'm going to use the ash brown and then create little tiny hair-like strokes and just kind of draw in a more defined arch there, because I am missing some hairs up there. So then that's just going to give that a little bit more definition. And it's okay if you get a little messy with this, because we're going to clean it up with concealer. So don't be too scared. So I'm going to take the Brow Gals highlighting pencil in 02, and I'm going to take the matte shade that is in that pencil, and I'm just going to press that underneath of the eyebrow to give it more definition to sculpt them out. Then I'm going to use the clear brow gel that they have, and I'm going to brush all the hairs up and then kind of get them into place so that they're perfect. So fast forward to when my foundation is already done, and I did a little bit of Curfew and a little bit of Hopscotch underneath of my eyes to do the underneath side with that same mascara. Do that inner corner eyeliner, I take that EO6 brush, which is the only thing that I have been able to use for this without making it look ridiculous, and I gently just pat that in the inner corner to create that eyeliner look. So that is it for the eye portion of this video. I'm going to move on to the full coverage foundation, but if that's all you were here for, thank you very much, and I'll see you later. So for the foundation part of this video, I did not realize that my camera was not recording and lost all of my footage. So when I came home from the movies after realizing this, I decided to wipe off all of my face makeup and start over so that I could show you guys. So I have my full lips enhancer on my lips right now to give me a little extra plumpness, and I'm going to be using the Skindinavia primer spray all over my face just to give me a little extra prime, and the Step 1 smoothing primer by Makeup Forever. This is really good if you have dry skin, if you have pores, if you have oily skin. I think it works very well as well. And this is what I just use in the kind of T-zone or dry areas that I have on my face. I went and cleaned off my beauty blender. And so I'm going to use my Morphe M439 brush with my Makeup Forever Ultra HD foundation. And I'm going to blend that in all over my face. So this is what I think gives me the best, most natural looking foundation. And I take it directly from the container and just push that in all over. So for underneath of my eyes, I'm going to use the Urban Decay Naked Weightless Concealer, and I'm going to take that in a complete underneath of my eyes way, like in a triangle, totally underneath my eyes. This is going to be very full coverage, but this is what I like to do, especially if I have a dramatic eye makeup look like this one. I feel like this looks the best. So I'm going to take it right down the center of my nose. That's where my freckles are. Right above my cupid's bow, on my chin, and on my forehead. So I'm going to gently be highlighting, not too crazy. I guess these are my problem areas, so that's what I'm trying to conceal, but also highlight. So I'm going to gently blend that out with my Beauty Blender. I press relatively firmly at first and then lighten my hand just to give that a nice finish, so that way it looks the most like skin. And again, just blend that in everywhere. So to set underneath of my eyes, I'm going to use my RCMA powder. I pat my Beauty Blender into the powder and then very lightly pat that underneath of the eyes. So the reason I do this lightly is because it can be a little much. So I'm going to use my, that happened, RCMA powder on my Morphe E1 brush, and I'm just going to blend and pat that in all over my skin. That way when we do the contouring and blush and highlighting, it blends in very seamlessly and smoothly. That's going to give it the most airbrushed kind of look. So this is my favorite contour brush ever by Morphe. It's the E59, and I'm going to take the two Makeup Geek contour pans in Love Triangle and Bad Habit, and I'm just going to do a bronzing contouring motion all over the outside of my face, give me some nice warmth and a little bit of definition, and then the Makeup Geek blush in Main Squeeze, which is like a perfect warm pink shade, which is what I'm going with for all of these, is a lot of warm pink and purple shades. So I'm going to use the E47 brush to contour my nose, and I just press and then slide, kind of buffing that contour powder all the way down my nose. I use the lighter shade for this just to give my nose like that very defined look. Like I said, this is the full coverage all the way done makeup, and this is what I would do if I'm doing like my hardcore makeup. So let's use Champagne Pop with the Morphe 510 brush to get that highlight on fleek. Yes, I'm living for this. This is so pretty. This is literally my favorite part. Every time I do this on a client, I'm just like, yes, yes. So I'm excessive, and I have the Morphe Beef 34 brush, which is a teeny tiny little baby fan brush, and I use that to add highlight underneath of my brow bone. I feel like this gives me the best highlight underneath of there. And I'm going to use the Jeffree Star Celebrity Skin Liquid Lipstick for my lips and gently get around that area of the lips. And that is the last step. I think that is it. So I'm spraying my skin with the Skindinavia setting spray, and that is all I have for you guys. I hope you enjoyed. Thank you so much for watching, and I can't wait to see you in the next video. But this one is a little bit more challenging. It's a double cut crease with like eyeliner and glitter and like the whole thing. So I did this look a while back. I'm